In the past 2 years, I've generated over $5 million in revenue through dropshipping. In my entire journey, we've always used Facebook ads and I still use it today to make money. Facebook ads is the absolute best platform there is to run profitable ads for dropshipping, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my entire ad strategy completely for free. There are many ways on how to set up your ad campaigns on Facebook, but what I will show you here is what works well with my way of dropshipping, which is to test a lot of products and use aggressive marketing angles. If this is your strategy as well, make sure you watch the whole thing and take notes. And if you want to learn my entire strategy on dropshipping, make sure you check out my previous videos on product research and store setup too. The most important factor of running Facebook ads in 2022 is having a good ad video. This is also called your ad creative. Now there are 3 different ways to source these creatives. The first way is to completely rip your competitor's winning creative. This is definitely the fastest and the cheapest way, but it does hold some risk. The second way is to take the winning creative of your competitor and send it over to a video editor on Fiverr so he can create a different version of this winning ad. The third way is in my opinion the best way, and that is to take your competitor's winning ad creative and edit it yourself using free software like Canva or DaVinci Resolve. Canva is very easy, but DaVinci Resolve does need some skill. You can just cut up the winning video and replace some scenes with your own content. I myself have in-house video editors who all do this for me, but when you're just starting out, I recommend taking the competitor's winning ad and cutting it up and replacing some scenes, just so you're not gonna get in trouble. I've shown you guys in my product research video how you can exactly source these creatives, so make sure you watch it before moving on. As most of you guys know, Facebook pixel tracking is not what it used to be. To get the most accurate tracking for as cheaply as possible, I recommend you use an app like Trackify or Omega Pixel Tracking and connect your pixel via there. There are links for both of these apps in the description. They are far from perfect and they should only be used when starting out. These apps will give you about 50 to 70% accurate tracking. Both of these apps have very clear tutorials on how to set them up, so I will not go over it here. But if you reach about $1 to $2K in profit on your store, I suggest you use a more expensive app like Triple Whale, or you can use a Fiverr developer to permanently fix your pixel. If you need a guy who can fix your pixel for about $300 with an accuracy of 90 to 100%, you can DM me on Instagram and I will make sure to share my contact. But it's very important to get your pixel fixed as fast as you can, because that allows you to scale your Facebook ads way more effectively. I'm now going to show you how we set up the testing campaigns with a product I showed you guys in my previous video. The product we'll be using in this video is the 4D mascara. Now let's click on create campaign. We always select sales as the campaign objective. Now for the name of the campaign, I always use the title of the product. So in this case, 4D mascara, vertical line. Then we go back to the product research sheet, which I gave you guys for free in one of the last videos. And you can see that we have the profit margin calculated and the break-even ROAS calculated. So we will copy these 2 numbers and paste them in our campaign title, because we will need them once we're scaling. And I will put a vertical line in between them. And that's the campaign title. Now let's click continue and set up the ad sets. I always choose manual sales campaign, by the way, for now. The Advantage Plus shopping campaign is something new. I haven't tested it out yet, so for now we'll always choose manual sales campaign. I always turn on the Advantage campaign budget. Now what that does is you will give your total campaign a daily budget, a maximum daily budget, and Facebook will decide on what ad sets to allocate the budget depending on their performance. This gives Facebook more power and your ads will probably perform a bit better. The amount is dependent obviously on your personal budget. I like to test with 60 euros per day, but that does not mean that every product we're testing will spend 60 euros per day. We always check the campaign after spending 20 euros, and if it's not performing well after 20 euros, usually we have enough information to decide to continue or kill the campaign. So you'll never be spending 60 euros on bad campaigns. Alright, let's go to the next step, and that is the ad set. You have to select a pixel. I created a pixel here, Samuel Econ pixel, and choose the conversion event purchase. Obviously make sure your pixel is set up right using the apps I described in the earlier part of the video. For testing campaigns, I always turn on dynamic creative. This means you can add multiple headlines, multiple ad videos, and multiple primary texts in your ad, and Facebook will again choose how to allocate your budget based on the best performing combinations. And this allows you to test multiple creative elements using a low budget. Now let's set the start date to tomorrow at 12 AM. So in my case, my ad account is set to the European time, so it's 0000. We never set an end date. Now for the location, you always have to select living in this location, because otherwise you will also target tourists who have just visited the country you're targeting. And as you guys know, I do European markets, so I will enter here United Kingdom. which is a European country where my strategy works the best. The age you can leave blank. For this product, it's a 4D mascara, so not many men will buy a mascara, and this is why I will choose women only. Now, if it's a product both men and women would buy, or you're in doubt, just select all genders. Now, for the detailed targeting, we usually create 3 total ad sets. 2 ad sets with big relevant interests to the product, and 1 ad set with no targeting at all. So let's start with the no targeting ad set in this one. So we can leave this blank right now. And then languages, I also choose all languages, and that is because many people have set their Facebook language in their native language, even though they speak English, for example. Facebook will decide who to target and is smart enough to know who speaks English and who doesn't. And for the placements, we choose Advantage Plus. Again, let Facebook test and decide which placements work the best for us. Now let's go into the ad. By the way, we always give the ad set the name of the targeting, and in this case, the ad set will be a no targeting ad set, so we will type no targeting as the name of the ad set. And then for the ad, let's type ad 1. Now let's go down. Let's select the videos we will be uploading. We have ad 1 and ad 2, and we will select them both. Now, where I got these videos is I copied them from my competitors and I made them just slightly better by adding, for example, subtitles and cutting some parts out. Okay, and now we just need the ad text. So we have primary text, which is the text that's going to show up above the video. We have headlines, which is the text that will show up next to the call to action button. And then we have the description, which is going to show up under the headline, which you can most of the time just leave empty. I'm going to type in a random URL, or let's just type in the name of my previous shop I created, just so this preview will work. I prepared some ad copies, as you can see right here. Now what you can do is, as I said, you can copy straight from your competitor, or you can prepare them yourself, which is what I've done. Now you should never make your ad copies too long with these aggressive ads, because the video mostly says it all. Let me show you the video. As you can see, this is a crazy video, but it does show all of the features of the product in an extreme manner. So the ad copy doesn't really matter that much. Now for the primary text, I suggest you describe your product on an emotional level in a few sentences. It doesn't have to be that long. And for the headlines, you can either use your offer or type the name of your product with your brand name in front of it, or again use a bold emotional statement. As you can see right here, these will be the 2 headlines we will be using. So let's copy the primary text, paste it in, and then here you would obviously drop your URL, Lina Shop. Now I'm not going to launch these ads, so I'm not going to put in the correct URL, but obviously you want to do the entire product page URL and not the homepage of your product. Let's copy the headlines, and then you can click on add headline option. So as you can see, you can add a second headline. Okay, and then we also have prepared a description, but that's optional because sometimes Facebook doesn't even show it. All right, so these are our ads. Now for the call to action button, I actually always use learn more. I've learned that learn more is actually a better call to action button to use than shop now, in my experience. Now we're done with the entire campaign. The only thing left to do is copy the ad set twice and select 2 different broad interests. So you can click on the 3 dots next to the ad set name, click on duplicate, number of copies 2, duplicate. And then we just have to change the interest targeting. So you have to make sure it is a interest with more than 100 million people. So if you don't know what interests there are, you can click on browse and you can go to interests. For example, this is a mascara, so it would probably be somewhere in shopping and fashion, and then beauty, for example. So I know that there is an ad set called beauty, which has 1 billion people in it, which we will select for this ad set. I will copy the name, change the name of this ad set, and then I will go to the last ad set. And let's just do cosmetics, because I know that's also a good working ad set and very huge as well. Almost 1 billion people. All right, and now we are done with the entire setup of the testing campaign. And now you can click publish. So now that you've created and published your first testing campaign, it'll start spending some money. The first day is the most crucial one, because that's when we will decide if you want to keep the product and scale it, or if you want to kill it and move on to the next product. After your campaign has spent about 20 euros in ad spend, you want to check your metrics and kill it if it's not performing well. Make sure you set up your columns like this, so you know you're looking at the right things. So after 20 euros in ad spend, we are usually looking for the following metrics: a CPC lower than 80 cents, a CTR higher than 2%, and at least 2 add to carts. If your campaign has 0 sales and did not hit any of these metrics, you can kill it and move on to the next product. If your campaign has a good CPC, a good CTR, but very low add to carts, I suggest you lower your selling price by $3 to $5 and let it spend another 20 euros. If it's still unprofitable after that, you can kill it and move on, but usually that should do the trick and make it profitable. In general, if a campaign has spent more than 40 euros and is still unprofitable, you can kill it and move on to the next product. You can check if your campaign is profitable or not by looking at your ROAS. If your ROAS is higher than your break-even ROAS, which is the 3-digit number we put in the campaign title, you know it's profitable and you can let your campaign continue spending. If your campaign has made it until the end of the day, meaning it has spent more than 40 euros and was still profitable, we will decide if we want to scale it or not by changing the campaign budget. Now this has to be done after 12 AM because if we raise the budget late at night but it's still on the same day, it might spend that extra new budget in the remaining time of the day, and we don't want that. So you can either stay up late until after 12 a.m. to change your budgets, or you can wake up really early, preferably before 8 a.m. to change your budgets. So there are 3 rules for changing the budget. If your campaign was profitable with a profit margin of more than 20%, we will double the budget. If your campaign was profitable but with a profit margin of only 15 to 20%, we will raise the budget by 40 to 50%. Now, if your campaign was under 15% profit margin or break even, we don't change the budget and let it spend the same amount on the next day and hope it will optimize. Now we will check our campaigns at the end of each day and continue using these same 3 rules. It may also happen that your campaign starts performing like shit all of a sudden. What you can then do is lower your budget by 50%. This will let Facebook know your campaign is not performing as you would like, and it'll most likely optimize the next day and start performing better again. Campaigns don't always keep their performance when scaling, so you have to find out the best daily budget per campaign. You can look at it like finding a winning product. Now we have to find a winning budget for the campaign, and this can be anywhere between 400 euros per day to 2000 euros per day. Now, with most winning products in the EU market, your daily budget will most likely never exceed 1000 euros per day. However, about 1 in 50 products will probably keep performing well even past a daily budget of 2000 euros. And those are what I call ultra winners, and those are the ones you can easily scale to 30k revenue per day. Now I will be creating a separate video on how to scale those kinds of products soon, because that also requires a more complex Facebook account structure to keep your Facebook accounts alive, so you can become a master dropshipper. Now the goal should never be to find those ultra winners, because they are very hard to find first of all, and they often violate Facebook's policy, making it very hard to keep your Facebook accounts alive. So you definitely shouldn't look for those products if you're just a beginner. Now just imagine you have 5 winning products running at 500 euros in ad spend per day with a realistic ROAS of 2.5. This means you would be making 6,250 euros in revenue per day, and that is at least 1k in profit per day if you have a low margin of 20%. Now my personal winner rate is 1 in 5 products, but that's because I have extensive knowledge of this market and I've been doing it for years. But for more beginners, your winner rate will most likely be like 1 in 10 or maybe even 1 in 20. Now this means you only have to test 50 good products to make 1000 euros per day in profit.
What?
And maybe you'll even find an ultra winner in there. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that you have to test as many products as you can, and don't give up if your first 10 products were unprofitable. You will learn from this and keep going. Eventually, anyone who continues to grind and test products finds their first winner, and that's when your entire life can change for the better. Now make sure you watch and implement my previous videos before using this Facebook ad strategy, because that's when it's gonna work the best and you're not wasting your money on something that's guaranteed to perform bad. Now again, this strategy, as well as my product research and store building strategy, might seem simpler than you've ever heard before, but you can trust me 100% when I say that this is what works for us today. Facebook ads is extremely smart, so you don't need any crazy retargeting strategies or lookalike audiences or all that shit. For the dropshipping strategy that I am teaching you, this is more than enough to get yourself to a few thousand euros in profit a day. Now I've had months where I spent more than 200,000 euros on Facebook ads using this exact strategy, so more is not needed. As I said, Facebook ads is so hyper optimized that most of the time the best working ad sets will be the no targeting ones. Now make sure you test as much as you can and keep using this one strategy, and I'm 100% sure you can make it work. Now if you have questions about this strategy or any other questions about dropshipping, make sure to leave a comment and I'll reply within a day. Peace out!